Well, hello friends, I'm Linda V. Taylor and welcome to Best of Both Worlds. I'm finishing the antique quilt today, so stay tuned. The custom quilt that we're working on today is the antique quilt that I started in the last segment. We got quite a bit finished, but we still have some areas that need to be quilted. So I want to show you how we're going to change the color of thread and some of the other techniques that I'm going to use today. Let's get started. Okay, I have an area right here now that I've completed this kind of inside those orange areas, a block. And as I look at this, it's not, I mean, I could use it as a block, but I think I could do a better shape there. You also probably are noticing the pencil marks from whoever was going to quilt this, and she was going to repeat the shape of the applique. And I've tried to erase some of that, but oh man, it is hard to come off, and I'm not going to spend that much time. And you know what? It's an antique quilt. I don't mind the marks. I'm going to ignore them. And I want to use my arch guide, and I'm going to use it from here to my stitching there. But I'm going to start in the middle here. I'm not going to start in a corner, because then I'll be able to come over and I'm going to use a circle template. This is so fun. I'll show you what I mean. Now remember, in using my templates, I also have the extended base underneath. So I have a nice flat surface underneath to work with. And I'm keeping my hand flat, and I know when I want to come back down here, I'm going to need that 1/4 inch. So my needle will actually go in there at the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to come over here like this and come right down there to the stitching. And then I'm going to move this up here. I can put it right against my foot there and leave my 1/4 inch up here, and I'll just follow that curve around like that right to the bottom of that yellow applique. So I'm using the applique as my guide, and it may not be perfect because the applique may not be perfect, but it is with the quilt, and so it's going to look really good. So again, I put the template right against the foot, and then I leave a 1/4 inch down here, and you can start like that, and then I'm going to stop. I have my needle in my stop down using my tools so it doesn't lose my place, and I can reposition my hand, and there I am right at the top of that stitching again. And then over here, right down to that 1/4 inch. There we go. And now I can line that up with the stitching that I already have done there, 1/4 inch out. And I'll just stitch over that, just a few stitches like that, and that will secure it. Now when I was planning this design, I was going to try to get a circle so that I could have exactly the right size, but then I figured out that because this is an antique quilt, you know, all those circles may not be the same size. So I just chose a circle. This one is my 4-inch circle, and it has lines on it like that, so I can line it up there in the middle. I know that's right. And then just sort of look and see. I'm just eyeballing to see if it's going to be there in the center, because I do want it in the center. And then I just move it over there like that. I can just cut that little stitch, and I didn't have to start and stop. And you see as I come around, I can just reposition and then finish off right there. Awesome. Now while I'm there, I'm just going to stitch up right to there. I want to do as much as possible continuously, okay, without the stopping and starting and securing your stitches. And it's okay for you to stitch on a line twice as long as you stay on that line. Now, in keeping with this pointed theme here, I'm going to do like a teardrop, but I'm going to make it pointed up here and back down here. And I'm going to come up in the middle, and I'm going to make a texture dot. And you'll see this happening a lot now, and I just love it. And that is, you just see a little tiny circle, and you just fill it in like that, okay? And you'll be surprised how much that will show up, especially on the back where I have beautiful sateen. You'll see those texture dots when we're finished. Then I'm going to come over, I'm going to make a little curl, and then sort of, you see how I swung down with my machine to kind of make that curl a little more square. So there, and then come down like that. Now I'm going to come right back there to the center. I can see that my seam is right in the middle, so I'm going to just kind of pick a point there and keep my eye on it, and I'm going to come down to that point, just sewing right down to that point. Now I am, whoops, that was the thing I hang my scissors on, in case you saw that. Oh, I'll just let you see it. It's not like a surprise. I put that on the end of my light, and then I hang my scissors there. Now, not the long point, but the short area, I am going to do this shape, the shape of my applique. I'm just going to come up to the edge of the circle and back, and up to the edge of a circle and back, to the edge of a circle and back, to the edge of a circle and back. Okay, I've changed to constant, so it's going to go a little faster. I'm in 45 or 45 to 50, really, wherever you want to be there, depending on your confidence. And I want to keep the shape of this going, but I'm going to completely fill this in to raise these shapes up from the quilt. So here we go. Just sort of echoing, really. But as I get into the top part, it's going to be a little bit straighter. Do you see how straight it is here? It's kind of a fern look there. And then I'm going to just switch over to this side. All you have to do when you're doing this sort of a thing is make sure you hit the edge of the circle and then come back down the stem. Edge of the circle, come back down the stem, and you'll keep that shape going. There we go. And I can come right over the top of this and come back. There we go. And on this one, I'm going to come up, and I know I'm still in constant, so I have to, I'm sewing faster. There's my little curl, and I did that texture dot as well. And I can come back over here, switch sides and switch directions. Make sure I go down the stem, down the stem, down the stem, and then up and do this side. Just over to that seam, and I'm going to do the middle again. So I point, come back down, come in, texture dot, back down. Remember that texture dot is you just kind of fill in a little circle there, just imaginary circle. And then I'm right back down into this design. And you can mark it, and you can go so much lower. But once you get confident with your freehand, you're not going to want to slow down at all. You can get that quilt done really fast, and it's not sacrificing any quality either. Just so fun. So here we go, all the way up, all the way down. Sort of looks like a flame. Texture dot, back down, around, and then kind of come out in that area just to fill it in a little bit more with that curl. And then back to our fern, straight, 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 and there we go, and we have that beautiful design. The pencil mark is a little distracting, and I'm sorry for that, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at it. One of the things I do, because I was in business for so long quilting quilts, and I still quilt quilts. So is time, how long that took me to do it. And then I'll say how many I have to go across the row, and then times that by the quilt, and then I know how long I'll be doing these designs, and then I can move on to the next design. I have been using just a titch darker than the muslin thread, but now I'm changing to a variegated thread because I found one that's just awesome. It's got green and it's got the orange and the yellow. It's everything that I need for this quilt. So in this area, I'm going to use that. It's Fantastico. It's Superior's Fantastico. Okay, I'm going to start out in regulated because I'm in the middle parts in this shape. I'm going to do what I call the holly. And so I'm going to come in here like this, and I'm going to go over to the edge, out to the center, over to the edge, and then back. So you see I can do that in each one of these, and then that will be done in each one of those. And you see what cute little holly shape that makes? It's just enough to nail that applique down without overwhelming it. I don't want to do a really overwhelming design. I just needed to do something in there so that I don't have all that distortion. So I already love that. Now I will be doing kind of like a fern. It's almost like a fire. I'm going to come out here like this. And while I'm out there, I just continue to fill in. And notice I'm filling right over to the edge of that diamond shape that I've stitched. And I can go back and forth anytime. I'm still in regulated right now. Like that. Now, I want a different shape in each of these, and they're going to curl up. So that means I come in here and I make the curl toward the top, which is upside down right now, but toward the brown area. So I make the curl, and then I fill in up here like this, and then back down like that. I love that shape. And then while I'm here, I come in, I go to the edge of that quilting, filling that in, and I can reverse and come back anytime. So it's just kind of long, stop and go. And then here I am again. I come kind of to the middle, do my curl. It's important the curls all go the right direction, so they're all going to curl toward the brown tip. Now as I come like this, this is my last area in here. You can see I filled up right up to that area. So this is my variegated thread. This is all the rest of the quilting and the thread, and this just goes right up to the edge of that. Fill all of that in. This really is quilted quite a bit. Come in, do a little curl, point, and then back down. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do the holly in this one, and you'll see all of that fullness just gets taken up as you're doing some quilting in there. Come back down. This curl is going to go up toward the brown, toward that area. Back down, and then I'll come again right up to the stitching lines. You can see how that variegated comes to the stitching lines, and just sort of follow that stitching line. If I can do it, you can do it. There we go. And then again, curl up toward the top, back down. So you definitely want to do these as you're going. If you forget, you can always go back and get them. It's not the end of the world. Boy, I found out with my quilting that hardly anything is the end of the world, actually. And look how pretty that variegated thread looks in there. Filling all of those areas in. And nice little crown up there. There we go. And then again. I'm in 16 stitches to the inch, but as I finish the other 3 legs of this, I'm going to go into constant. And then we'll take a look at this. And now, as I'm coming around here, I have to remember I'm changing direction, so these are going to come this way. Right along the edge of that circle. So you can see These kind of went that direction. These have a little direction here. All you have to do is watch the applique. You know, I've been looking at this quilt and thinking, holy cow, I could actually do this whole thing on the long arm. I could applique it on the long arm if I wanted to do one just like it. It's quite a simple design, but I really, I love it. I love the simplicity of some of the antique quilts. And oftentimes I won't do the same thing in each area, but this one just deserved that beautiful design in each of the areas and to be done a little bit more traditionally. What a pleasure it is to finish somebody else's projects that they worked so hard on, really. I can only imagine all that handwork, and she was so excited to get this done, and something happened that she couldn't get it quilted. And so I'm happy to do that. There we go. And then remember, we come up here, come in, and do our holly. And it just sops up all that extra fullness. And also makes a beautiful design in the variegated. I just wanted to point this out. Do you see this batting? This is at the end of my quilt. And I thought I could get 6 inches longer, I would be plenty of batting. Well, boy, that really is almost at the end, and what a sad thing to run out of batting. So make sure you have at least 10%, like if it's 80, make sure you have 8 inches extra of batting the long way. You can deal with whatever on the side, but don't get it too close. But make sure you have 10% more batting. And by the way, this is that beautiful Hobbs cotton wool batting, and it is so soft and supple, and I just love it. Also notice that I have covered my pins here. I still pin. That's the best system for my hands to work with. And so I want to make sure as this comes around I don't get poked with these pins, or it, you know, can ruin your t-shirt or whatever. So I just put tape there, and then when I'm finished at that point, then I can just move this tape down and leave it on my canvas till I'm ready to move it up again. I don't have to use tape and tape and tape, so reuse it. Well, I have a few hours left on this quilt, but I'm very excited to put my time and effort into it because it's going to turn out so beautifully. I hope some of the designs that I've shown you today will work on some of the other quilts that you do and some of the other designs, because I know not everyone works on the same quilt. But I also hope that somehow the way I think about designs will help you in thinking about your designs and knowing that you don't have to be perfect on everything. We just need to get those quilts done. And as we do that, that muscle memory becomes a part of us, and we just get better and better. So thanks for joining me today. Be sure you watch next time. I really appreciate your support. Thank you.